and to be absolutely aware that you are now participating in a field of love and beauty and intelligence, a field that is as real as gravity, now affecting you in a way that the surface mind can't even begin to comprehend. This field that has been created since before you even got here by the practitioners holding you in prayer, by those who led the meditation service, by Ricky B.B. and the band with the sacred chanting and the wonderful music and the wonderful affirmations and prayers. This is called the strange attractor field, is what it's called in quantum physics, because it vibrates a little bit higher than where you could get it by yourself and pulls you out of the limited paradigm that you might be living in. And with your intentionality, with your desire to grow, develop, and unfold, this strange attractor field becomes a condition and an environment that allows you to become more of your real self. You become involved in what is like the spiritual laborieux method in terms of giving birth. You come into a field rich with possibility, the conditions of vibrating with infinite potentiality and love and beauty, and you feel like you're coming home into yourself. Well, the field has been set. You have participated in setting it. So we can go home now. It's done. You got to feel that it's done already and that the rest is simply a little dessert. Because once the field has been set and the condition has been set, combined with your intentionality to grow, develop, and unfold to your greatest yet to be, you're receptive now to spiritual insights and revelations that allow you to become more and never less than your true self. Thus, you're entering into the theme of the month, which is incurable optimism. Catch it. Incurable optimism. Now, heretofore, whenever you've heard the word incurable, you've possibly associated it with some kind of disease, some kind of diagnosis and prognosis within the limited Newtonian paradigm, which would speak of something being incurable. We know outside of the Newtonian paradigm in a quantum field, there is nothing that is incurable. That there's only something incurable within a very small domain of cause and effect within the Newtonian physics. But in the quantum reality, in the Christ consciousness, in the awareness that God is all there is nothing incurable whatsoever. For the moment your consciousness expands, the moment your perception becomes wide enough to accept that you've never had a birth and you will never die, and that your life is more than physical, that you are a spiritual being having a human incarnation, and that there is a light within you that can never be snuffed out. Once you're operating in that domain, really, then the prognosis that you may have received becomes merely a piece of paper that you roll up and throw away as the body temple regenerates, rejuvenates, and becomes the vehicle through which the light of beauty and love and intelligence can express itself. So when we speak about incurable, we're not speaking about a disease, because there aren't any incurable diseases. There are only incurable people who remain in a small paradigm, but there aren't any incurable diseases, because in the nonlinear dynamic with God, all things are possible. You see? And so, but in terms of our optimism, we want that to be incurable. We want our optimism to be incurable. And interestingly enough, as I wrote in your bulletin there, optimism is not the opposite of negativity, nor is it a synonym for positivity. Cinnamon is good for you, though. It's good for the brain. You should try it. You know, it really makes you, I should have had some this morning. But, but it's not a synonym for positivity. It comes from a Latin word which talks about optimum. It means that in any given moment is optimum and rich for transformation, that every single moment in and of itself is perfect. So an optimist is an individual that realizes that whatever the condition is, whatever the circumstance, they're holding for the highest and best outcome that any circumstance can bring you. So to be an incurable optimist means that you have the strength, the chutzpah, the intestinal fortitude, into the spiritual gumption to realize that whatever is going on, there's a solution, there's an answer, there's a way out of no way, that regardless of what's happening, that appears to be contrary to what you wish to experience in any given moment, there is a presence that is seeking to express itself by means of you. And you want to be an incurable optimist, beginning with the awareness that you're duly connected with the great power and presence and love of God that is everywhere in His fullness. And we say this from time to time, and when we speak about this presence of God, we're not speaking anthropomorphically, that is a man in the sky that's pulling your strings. We're speaking about the presence of God, which is never an absence, the presence of life and beauty and joy that is conscious, that it is everywhere in its fullness, and that recreated itself in its own image and likeness and named itself each and every one of us, and that it is omni. It's everywhere in its fullness. And with this presence, everything is possible. All good is possible. All solutions can occur. All answers can be given as you're able to maintain this level of optimism, not positivity, not negativity, but an understanding in any given moment. It is perfect for the revelation of a truth, the revelation of life, the revelation of beauty, the revelation of joy, so that you become keenly aware that nothing can stop you. You become keenly aware that conditions and circumstances do not determine your destiny, that your attitude determines your destiny. Conditions and circumstances do not. And this goes the same thing, same truth with karmic propensity. Karma does not determine destiny. It only provides conditions. And that your destiny is determined by your attitude when those conditions arrive. So any condition that comes into your life that you don't like, you become incurable in your optimism and become aware there's an answer, there's a solution, and there's a way. It's trying to happen. I'm available to insight and revelation along those lines, so that the condition then bears fruit. It becomes an opening through which, ta-da, resurrection happens, life happens, beauty happens, regeneration happens, renewal happens, resetting happens, beginning again happens. This is what it means to be an eternal, incurable optimist. And we want you to catch it, and we want you to be contagious with it as well. We want you to walk into a room and light it up. We want you to walk into a room and be aglow with the Spirit. We want you to walk in the room and be so powerful in your loving and giving and creative verve that the whole atmosphere is lit up because you walk into the room. Don't walk into the room and see what's happening. Walk into the room and be the happening, baby. Be the spiritual happening. You become the frequency and the vibration that you're looking for. Don't wait for someone else to bring it. Don't wait for somebody else to generate it. You walk in there and you become so coherent with the presence of God Almighty, all beauty, all love, all joy, that it becomes the activity of your awareness. And whatever you have to face, be aware that whatever you have to face, it's facing something. It's facing the light and the love and the beauty and the joy that is within you. Say with me, if you will, I'm optimistically inclined. Because life is for me and never against me. I'm optimistically inclined because God is for me, never against me. I'm optimistically inclined because I'm on my own side and I'm ready to shine. Somebody scream. Somebody say yes. And so this incurable optimism, it's not the opposite of pessimism. Well, it kind of is. But it's not the opposite of negativity or positivity. And as I said in the earlier service, as we moved into our prayer time, when we speak about the affirmation of life, we're speaking about the absolute truth that life affirms itself, never denies itself, nor compromises, nor contradicts its own nature. So we don't fall into the camp of being positive thinkers. That's not who we are, because you can be positive that you're broke. You can be positive that someone doesn't like you. You can be positive about a lot of things. So we don't fall into the category of being a positive thinker. We fall into the category of being affirmative realizers. That is, we know that life affirms itself, never denies itself. Love affirms itself. Peace affirms itself. So we enter into an affirmative vibration that affirms exactly what's going on in the universe. That God is on its own side, that God wants our freedom, that it may lose its own energy through us. So we affirm this, not being positive, but coming into the affirmative vibration, eternal and incurable optimism that allows our life, our frequency, our vibration to vibrate at the highest possible outcome, even before we can even visualize what that outcome will be. We vibrate at the highest level of that outcome, which is called faith, by the way. An absolute substance of what you're hoping for, but a vibratory evidence of what can't be seen. You're vibrating at that level. And conditions, they've got to run from you or be transmuted. They've got to change because we are vibratory beings. Everything is in vibration. And so you are lifting yourself with your spiritual practices of affirmative prayer and sacred meditation and life visioning and others to lift your vibration that you may begin to see the new heaven and the new earth. You can begin to hear the voice, behold, I make all things new. You know, all of that's going on all the time. The voice is always saying, behold, I make all things new. You know that the new heaven and new earth is here, but it's a vibration that you have to catch with insight through your incurable optimism and deep spiritual practice. And then you come into an awareness of what the topic would indicate here, and that is victim or volunteer. It's your choice. Now, this is a great understanding that you have to have as you're on your path for growth, development, and unfoldment. You're either a victim or a volunteer. And if you're a victim, then your conversation is always about what others have done to you or are doing to you. And if someone were to ask you why you weren't happy or why you weren't successful, you'll have a litany of excuses as to what the big they have done. And the world is messed up, and they did this, and they did that, and they, and you, and you remember what Lisa Sprinkles likes to say a lot, that when you're pointing your finger at someone, then those other three are pointing back at you, you know? And so generally victims live in a paradigm of which life is doing something to them. And that particular paradigm offers no solutions. It offers no answers at all. It offers no way out. And your vibration sinks to the lowest common denominator of the human experience, which is fraught with a belief in lack and limitation and no opportunities and scarcity and separation and hate and things of this particular nature. But when you begin to be aware that you volunteered to be here, that before time began, before you had a human birth, you absolutely volunteered to have this incarnation. And when you volunteered, you had the courage. When you volunteered, you had the energy. When you volunteered, you knew everything you needed and wanted and hoped for and desired was already within you. You volunteered to be in the conditions that you're in today. You volunteered to be in this human world, this planet Earth, going through the changes that it's going through right now. You volunteered to come into the family that you came into, to learn very valuable lessons. If there's no love happening, you were volunteering to learn how to love yourself. If there was lack and limitation around you, you were learning about prosperity emanating from the depth of your being. You were learning so many things. You put yourself in the position. You volunteered for that. Now here's the deal. Once you expand your perception and you say, I volunteered for this, I chose to be here, now you have thrown away your victim card, and now you're available for wisdom, guidance, and direction that can only come outside of the limited paradigm of victimhood and can only come from the expanded paradigm of volunteer, one who chooses. Now, choice is a function of awareness. Volunteer, victim, or volunteer, you choose. Your choice is a function of awareness. And awareness is a function of spiritual practice. Spiritual practice begins with your affirmative prayer and your meditation, and it is very difficult for you to have major transformation in one lifetime without meditation. You're spinning your wheels on the surface mind, trying to change conditions, people, circumstances, victimhood. People who live in victimhood basically operate from manipulation and domination and control. Whenever someone is operating in that limited paradigm, they're trying to change other people. They're going to manipulate them. They're going to dominate them or they'll control them. But those who volunteer and realize that they are a volunteer to be here and they become available to rich insight and revelation, those three ways of being in the world dissolve and they learn how to let go and let God. They yield. They surrender. They allow. They're available. And that which is happening cosmically begins to happen locally. It begins to happen in your life when you volunteer, you see. Take a breath here. And so you're coming into a soulful remembrance that you volunteered to be here. You took the leap to be here on purpose with a purpose. No accidents whatsoever. Therefore, the limited Newtonian paradigm of cause and effect, you're dissolving that and stepping into the quantum field of Christ awareness, the quantum field of connection with the presence of God, where all things are possible. Your life hid with infinite potential in God. Your life hid with Christ in God. Your life hid with the answer in God. Say, if you will, I am volunteering to be here.
I am volunteering to be here.
I throw away my victim card. I resign from victim club. I stand liberated. Now, with this awareness of volunteering to be here, every condition and circumstance that you find yourself in as a volunteer, remember you have insight and revelation, and in order to move forward, you remember this, and that is you take 100% responsibility for your own life. 100% responsibility for your happiness, your joy, and your peace of mind. Not 99.9, that just won't do. 100% responsibility for your own life. And then when that occurs, when you see the conditions that you're in, you also see the lesson, the blessings, and the qualities that you put yourself in a position to learn. You think there's no love in your life? You're putting yourself in a position to understand the generative self-love and appreciation that comes from having an intimate at-one-ment with pure spirit, so you're not scaring people away by stalking mentality. You end up loving yourself and become a radiant emanation of God, and love breaks out all over you. You find yourself in a condition where there's just no peace and there's a lot of calamity. You're being invited to discover that peace that passes human understanding. Not based in conditions, not based in time, but based in the eternal that's locked within your own heart and soul. And now you become a peacemaker and a peacekeeper. Where you go, peace breaks out. You find yourself in a condition where there appears to be lack and limitation thinking. You're being invited, and it's condensed itself into an experience. You're being invited that there is a resource within you. There's entrepreneurial spirit within you. There is everything necessary within you. And you're called upon to activate that as an incurable optimist until you realize you can go anywhere on the planet, anytime, and demonstrate everything that you need when you need it, even before you ask. It's trying to give it to you, but will you be receptive enough to receive it? This is what comes to you. And then as you release yourself from the victim consciousness, you will discover there's always an answer, and you will notice, as I've said over the years, that when it does come time for you to vent at times, or whatever the case may be, you make sure you vent with somebody that's not going to believe a word you say. You make sure you get with somebody that just listens but doesn't listen. And guide you back to yourself. Guide you back to reality. Guide you back to no longer being a victim, but a victor over circumstances and conditions. And feel your way back into the harmony of your own soul. Take a breath here. Release. And be aware that you're coming into the number of being spiritually mature, and that is taking full responsibility for your own life, your own happiness, your own joy, and then finding your role on the planet that allows you to download the good that is within you, that you may anchor your gifts, talents, capacities on the planet. You begin to remember the assignment that you had before you came here, to uplift and inspire and transform according to your unique pattern. You don't want to fall into the category of, I'm not good enough to be myself, therefore I'll be a good someone else. No. That's mimicking and imitation. No. You be the best you can be because everyone else is taken. You do that, you see. And watch as the universe smiles, because who you are as a unique emanation of the Most High is significant, is important. You matter. You see, you matter. You matter. You matter. Some of you are here. You've been cycling through incarnations trying to break free. Some of you, this is your first time here on planet Earth. Some of you are second or third time. Doesn't matter. You're here now. But you're not to be caught in the spiral of materialism and consumerism. You're to catch incurable optimism about the great possibility of humanity, the great possibility of your own heart and soul, the great possibility of your own neighborhood, the great possibility of wherever you are. Declare it, affirm it, feel it in your soul. And then watch that there becomes a vibrational match. And your whole upside down world is turned right side up. Spiritual astigmatism is healed. And you become a walking giant on this planet. A vibratory giant. A vibratory giant. So hear this again. This month we're growing into the vibratory frequency of being an incurable optimist. Not the opposite of negativity, not the same as positivity, but understanding that every moment carries an optimum possibility, regardless of the condition. And an incurable optimist is holding the vibration and the vision and the faith for the highest and best to occur. We release ourselves from being a victim, and we stand as a being who know that we chose to be here. Therefore, we're not in the limited paradigm of victimhood, which is always they, manipulation, domination, control. We stand taking full responsibility for our own life, knowing that everything that we need is within us. And as it is activated moment by moment by moment, we step into the new heaven and the new earth. Behold, all things are made new. We feel that vibration. And the regenerative power of that kind of connection has an impact on the body temple, the mental body, the emotional body, the body of our affairs. And then we hear perhaps Maya Angelou saying, people will forget what you say. They will forget what you do, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. Remember that. And so when you carry that vibration of love and peace and joy, wisdom and harmony becomes so strange in it that you're just off the hook with kindness and love and compassion, not as a syrupy put on, but as an activation of the sacred truth within you. You walk into a room, people just feel better. They will forget what you said. They will forget what you do, good or bad, but they'll always remember how you made them feel with that consciousness of God operating through you. You want to be in that number. You want to be in that frequency. All things are possible. As I'm speaking right this moment, as you're looking inwardly at different areas of your own life, glean the blessing and the message that life has for you there. Affirm in your own vibratory way that there's an answer, there's a way, there's a solution, there's a frequency, there's a spiritual quality trying to emerge there. Embrace that. Hold that space. Hang on to the best case scenario as a frequency to moving you in the right direction. And then watch as more energy flows through you. More ideas of the presence of God from the presence of God flows through you. High wisdom and guidance speak to you in a language and in a way that you can understand. And then you get to anchor heaven on earth. Oh, don't wait for heaven to come. Come on now. Don't wait for the cosmic tumblers to click into place. What did he say? The kingdom of heaven is at hand now. He said, they have ears but hear not, and eyes but see not. It's here now. But you gotta lift your vibration to see it. You gotta lift your frequency to hear it. And then you won't be able to not hear the still small voice. You won't be able to not see opportunities everywhere. And you won't be able to not move when you hear your mission. Yes. And to hear why you're here. You'll hear it. And walk in that direction with the same courage that you had when you said, oh my God, I'm gonna take a human incarnation. I'm gonna squeeze eternity into time. I'm gonna take all of this and put it in a body. Oh my God. Okay. I volunteer. I'm leaping, baby. I've got everything I need. I've got it all. And then you say it to your homeboys, listen, if I forget, send me a messenger. If I forget, send me a sign. I don't care if it's a stop sign saying be still. You know, send me something. If I get caught up in the milieu of a human experience, hold me fast so that I can wake up again. Well, today, this is your alarm clock, baby. This is your wake-up call. Every song you've heard sung, every prayer, every affirmation, every practitioner praying is a wake-up call that you are to give up your victim card. When you leave here today, I want you to walk by the trash can, and I want you to vibrationally throw your victim card into the trash can. If you want to symbolically write out victim no more and throw it into the recycling bin, but you let it go now. And you stand victorious as the presence of God. Life, love, beauty, joy, power, intelligence, creativity, divine success. You stand victorious as the incurable optimist that you are. When you know the presence of God, how can you not be? Deep breath right here. Come inside with me right now. Let's go inside the inner closet and pray in secret that we may be rewarded openly, which simply means as you go into your interiority, your inner awareness, and you begin to have a communion with you in the presence of God. Now remember, unlike substances cannot commune. Water and oil never communes. You shake it up and it looks like it's together, and as soon as you let it settle, water and oil will separate. But you can commune with God because your life is the life of God. So when you go within in that interior awareness and commune with the Spirit in secret, then that interior awareness, that communion, that connection, that love, that beauty, that joy, that abundance, that plenitude, that eternal life, it shows up externally. As within, so without. And so we go within now. Not under the aegis of positive thinking, but under the vibration of affirmative prayer. Life affirms itself. Love affirms itself. Joy affirms itself. Life never denies its own essence. And so we leave into the field of gratitude. Rich, potent, potent, vibratory field of sacred gratitude. Oh, we're so grateful to be awake, aware, and alive. So grateful, so grateful, so grateful, so grateful, so grateful. Thank God we're alive. We thank God we exist. We thank God that infinite potential is locked within us and only we have the key. Wouldn't it be a shame if somebody else had the key? Out of 7 billion people, we're looking around looking for the key in somebody else. You got my key? You got my key? No. You've been given the key. You're the one who put yourself in jail. You got the key. So we turn within. Gratitude is a key. Thanksgiving is a key. Lifts our vibration and we begin to see and recognize the great presence, the great power, and the great love. And we become so unified in this presence. So unified in this presence that we're able to say, I am what thou art. Thou art what I am. No distance whatsoever, no separation. My life is the life of God, for there is only one life, and that is the life of God, and that's our life right now. We're an emanation of it. Just as the sunbeam is never separated from the sun, we're never separated from the love and the power and the life of God. Oneness, unity. And the word is spoken. Oh, it's a law, I tell you. It's a law unto itself that only knows its own fulfillment. And I speak it with the authority of one knowing that all that there is God for each and every one of us, that we may be free today. That we vibrationally stand with a great readiness for divine freedom and well-being and right action. Divine peace of mind, divine wholeness, strength, vitality, and vigor and ways being made out of no ways, vibrationally here and now. Everything working together for our individual and collective good. I speak the word for our divine health and well-being, that every organ, action, function of our body temple is made every whit whole by the power of the spoken word, here and now, the vibration of the Most High. Mental body clean and clear. Emotional body pure. Body of our affairs, order and harmony. Oh, I'm describing us the way God sees us. We don't describe what we see. We see what we describe. I'm describing you as beautiful. I see you're divine. I see you're magnificent. I see you are eternal. I see there's so much potential within you that wherever you are in your life, you're barely scratching the surface of the good that's trying to happen through you. You're just getting started. Free, I tell you, free, 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 I tell you. You're no longer constrained, not even by your own emotions. You're no longer constrained by previously held perceptions. Oh, no. We're taking on the frequency of, you know what? I volunteered to grow and to unfold, and I've been given the best conditions to do so. Rich, dank, dark, murky soil. But I'm gonna grow, baby. I'm gonna stand tall. I'm gonna outstretch my wings and my limbs, and I'm gonna fly.